Okay, hello. So welcome to video 2 on functions. I figured today we'll have another video and then on Friday we will have a live class where we go through some of these. Now, here we have two sums, but there's multiple sums within each sum. And here I'll just go through what's in the graph. Here we have an input. Okay, so on the left we have the input, and you can see that the input has been labeled as x. Okay, so each of these stands for x, each of these numbers, this -2, this -1, this 0, this 1, and this 2, they all stand for x. And then our output is going to be y. All right, and then when we figure out what the output is, and we put it together with our input, when we put those together in a bracket, like they are over here, we have a couple, okay? We have a pair of numbers, we have a couple of numbers. All right, so the rule for sum number 1 is x squared plus 2. So what the question wants is for us to put in each of these lines a -1 in this line, and a 0 in this line, and a 1 in this line, and a 2 in this line. So for example, -1 goes in here. So we substitute in -1 for x, because x is the input. So it's -1 squared plus 4. So -1 squared means -1 multiplied by -1, which is +1. And +1 plus 4 is 5. So this sum, the answer is 5. The output is 5. And 5 is y. So we have -1 and 5. So I would like you to do the rest of these questions. So pause the video now and try and do the rest of these questions and send me a picture, okay? Just be careful of minus numbers being multiplied by minus numbers. And remember, 0 multiplied by anything is 0. Okay, hopefully you've gotten through those okay. I'll fly through them now real quick in the video. 0 squared plus 4, 0 by 0 is 0, so it's just 4. So we got 0 and 4. And then this one here, 1 squared plus 4. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. So 1 plus 4 is 5. Excuse me. So you can see here, when you put in -1, you get 5. And when you put in 1, you get 5. You'll realize why that's important in about a week or two. And then when you put in 2, let's see what happens here. 2 squared plus 4. 2 squared is 2 squared is 2 multiplied by 2, which is 4. And 4 plus 4 is 8. Oh, look at that. 2 and 8. So when we put in a -2, we're getting an 8. And when we put in a 2, we're getting an 8. So our couple is 2 and 8. Not exactly the same as the one at the top, but very similar. Again, you'll see why that's relevant in a couple of weeks' time. Probably when we're back in school. Now, I'd like you to try and do this one here. I'm not going to go through it now. I'd like you to try and do that for homework if you haven't already, and send me a picture, and I'll check your homework later on today. Now, I'll get rid of that. And these are the other questions that I'd like you to try and do for homework. So, in the 3 tables below, there's some input and output numbers. And it says by trial and error or guessing, you have to figure it out in your head essentially. Find the rule for each function in the form y equals. Now, what does that mean? Let me go back to the previous one. So here, the rule in this one was x squared plus 4. And the rule in this one was 3 minus 2x. Now, we didn't, in the last class, we briefly explained that when you're writing a function, there are 2 ways to write a function, or 3 ways, sorry. You can write it like this: f of x is equal to x squared plus 4. You can write f of x with an arrow. Sorry, I shouldn't have wrote this equals. With an arrow, x squared plus 4, Or you can write y equals x squared plus 4. Now, we only briefly touched on that in the last lesson. And here they just told us that the rule was x squared plus 4. But if you were going to write it out as a function, they might write it out like this. So they might write it out like this, okay? Now, any of these three, they're all the same. Now, in the next question, what they're asking you to do is to figure out in your head what the rule could be that if I put the number 3 in, what could the rule be that if I put in the number 3 and I get the number 2, what could that be? Now, the same rule when I put in the number 7 gets me the number 10. With the same rule when I put in the number 5, I get the number 6. The same rule when I put in the number 11, I get the number 18. So let's have a look and just mess around with it and see what we could do. So 3 to 2. Now if I minus 1, that gets me 3 to 2. But if I minus 1 here, that doesn't get me from 7 to 10. Minus 1 doesn't work here, does it? So it's not going to be as simple as that. So we're probably going to, and I'm giving you a hint here, we're probably going to have to multiply this number, the first number, the x number. Remember, this is the y number. We're probably going to have to multiply the x number and then either add or subtract something to it. So when I'm guessing these things, I always start at kind of a low number. So I start at 2. So let's say that we'll just use x to represent all these numbers for the minute. So let's say we multiply x by 2. Okay, we'd get 2x, wouldn't we? 2 multiplied by x is 2x. Now, say we had 3 here. And we put 3 in for x. So here it would be 2 by 3. That would give us 6, wouldn't it? Now, how would the 6 become a 2? Well, we'd take away 4, wouldn't we? So let's just add that, take away 4, take away 4. Okay, so that would give us 2, wouldn't it? 6 minus 4 is 2. All right, so let's see if it works with the other ones. So we just came up with this rule, this function. So 2 times x minus 4. Let's put in 7 this time and see if we get 10. So 2 times 7 minus 4. 2 times 7 is 14. Minus 4 is 10. So that means that this is our rule. Our rule is 2x minus 4. Another word or another way to describe a rule is to call it a function. Okay? So this is a function here. And I'll just get a slightly thicker marker and I can write, and you see in the question up at top, it says find the rule for each of these, for each function in the form y equals. So they want us to write y equals 2x minus 4. Okay? And that is our answer. That's our function. So over here, you're also going to have to write y equals something, something, something. It might be 3x or 4x. It might be take away 2. It might be add 2. You have to figure that out. And over here is the same. You have to write y equals whatever the rule is. It might be multiplied by 6 divided by 2. So I'm going to let you try and do question 2 and question 3 by yourselves. And again, it's just figuring out by trial or error. And I always start low. I start by multiplying it by 2 or 3 or 4, and then either subtracting or adding or dividing maybe. I doubt it'll be dividing, but have a go at number 2 and 3 and see if you can get it done. And remember to always finish by writing y equals and the rule. And remember that this is the x and this is the y, and here this is the x and this is the y. Okay? X is the input number, the number you're putting into the sum, and y is the output, the number you're getting out. Okay? And they just want you to write it like this. Okay, if you have any questions, just leave a comment in the Google Classroom and that'll give me notification so I know that you're stuck. All right, have a great day.